Well, good Saturday morning. It's New Year's Eve. Happy New Year to you all. Now you'll see there's been a few changes in the goldfish tank. Those changes are still underway, so I'll do a full video when I've finished what I'm doing in here. But here's a bit of a sneak preview of what's going on. Now today I'm off predator fishing again with my grandson, so we will do a video from the riverbank, so I'll catch you on the riverbank. Well, good Saturday afternoon from a very wet, very rainy middle level. Back here with my grandson. We're only fishing two pike stroke zander rods this time. We've not got four out in the swim, just thought it was too congested with rods last time. So problem we've got is there's a lot of floating weed going down the river, and it's catching the line, which you just heard there. I've changed my tactics this time because we got pestered by the crayfish last time, so we're fishing sunken floats, lifting the baits off the bottom, so hopefully that will defeat the crayfish. Now at the minute the grandson is down there doing a bit of lure fishing in the pouring rain. He must be absolutely mental, but he's enjoying that. I'm sitting in the shelter about to make a brew. So like the last video, if we don't catch anything you might not ever get to see this, but if we do catch something we'll definitely be back to you. Well, good Sunday morning, welcome back. It's New Year's Day, so happy 2023 to all my subscribers and viewers. We didn't catch anything last night, so there's no fish captures to show you, but just thought I'd give these a bit of food as they're quite active. See, they're all up taking that. I think the pond is at 11 degrees. Yeah, 11 degrees. Can't really see it from the nets, but I'll quite happily give them a little bit of food at 11 degrees. Once it goes below 10 they get nothing. The goldfish, obviously they're taking the koi pellets as well, and they should be rehomed at some point next year or this year. Waiting on my friend Andy to build his pond. I was watching the fish the other day and just a couple of them amazed me how much they've grown this year. I mean, the Macassiogon is just huge, and the Kahaku has sneakily grown. I hadn't really noticed it, but it's nearly as big as Mega, the big shower. Also the Yamabuki has grown a lot this year. So we've had some really good growth amongst the bigger fish this year without you really noticing it. You notice it more perhaps now that you're not feeding them so much. Ash, my shower, my original fish from the original 2 metre pond, he must be 60 centimetres now. Stunning fish, love that fish. And Makashi just sat here because the food's here and he's waiting for me to move so he can come up and eat it. So anyway, what I thought I'd do is I'll show you what I'm doing in the fancy goldfish tank. So we're going to have a look at that in a minute, but before that, I've got me Tempest drying from last night's fishing. We fished up until I think it was about 6 p.m, but the drain we were on, there was so much weed moving down with the current that it just made fishing impossible. Just kept catching our lines all the time. So unfortunately my grandson didn't get to catch another pike, but you know, there's always other times. So anyway, enough waffling on. I'll get back to you when we're by the fish tank. Welcome back. So, what's been going on in the big 6-foot fancy goldfish tank? Well, if you remember, I went totally bare tank. No decorations, no gravel. Kept it that way for 2 to 3 weeks. Decided I didn't like it, and I've gone back to a more natural setup. I've added a fish which is there. It's a monstrous Ryukin, which I got from Little Fish Aquatics in Snetsham, Norfolk. Absolute star of the tank, that fish. It is absolutely amazing. So I've put gravel in, and I've put some live plants in, and so far the goldfish haven't gone after the live plants. I have gone with fairly robust plants like Java ferns and Vallis, and there's a crypt here on the end. I would like to add more gravel because the gravel's only about 1 inch deep. It's not really deep enough, and then I'd like to add a few more plants, but we'll have to wait and see how these plants survive before I add too many more. But you know, I'd like to add something that's going to grow up to the surface. There are little dwarf lilies that you can get for tanks, so that's a thought. And also stuff like the well-known oxygenating plant Elodea. That will grow to the surface, and goldfish don't tend to go after that either. Let's have a little look at the Ryukin. His name is Jumba. I didn't name him. The manager of the shop named him. He's named after a character in a Disney film apparently, but it's not one I know. So yeah, this is Jumba, and like I say, he's absolute beast, biggest fish in the tank, and has a diet to match. I am just currently, funny enough, giving the Panda Aranda a Epsom salt bath because he's a little bit floaty, and I've tried other things to try and help with the floatiness, but they haven't worked. So I'm just trying a Epsom salt bath. Don't like seeing him swimming upside down and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the update with the fish tank. We've gone natural, which means the lights obviously are on about 10 to 12 hours a day because of the plants, and hopefully they'll do well. I've got my pothos plants up the top here. You see there's a new shoot coming there, so that will grow. There's one in the other corner as well, so they'll grow and help to absorb the nitrates. I do have very low nitrates of about 5 parts per million, which, considering how many fish are in in the tank and how many times a day they get fed. That's quite a result. So anyway, that's the update. I will catch you in the next one.